Yo, what's going on, LSU Nation? It's time to ask that question that's on everyone's minds. Is this finally the year the Tigers get back to the top? Brian Kelly says that this is his most talented roster he's had at LSU, but can they turn potential into championships? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down LSU's 2025 season outlook, key players to watch, and whether this team has what it takes to make a real run to the college football playoffs. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below how many wins you think this LSU team will get this season. All right, let's jump right on into the video. Coming off a 9-4 season in 2024, the pressure is on in Baton Rouge. LSU has been picked to finish fourth behind teams like Georgia, Alabama, and Texas. But don't get it twisted, LSU is loaded and they're ready to compete. Now, they kick off the season with a tough game right out the gate versus Clemson, which is going to be a road game. So, Clemson Stadium is going to be really hostile. It's the battle of the Tigers and also the battle of who has the real Dead Valley. You've seen some things from Clemson, one of the Clemson players. You've seen some back talk by Whit Weeks, and you also seen some stuff by Brian Kelly, which I kind of wish that Brian Kelly would just kind of like, if I'm being frank, just shut the hell up. Keep a mic away from Brian Kelly. That's the best thing they can do is just keep a mic away from him, because sometimes he says things that he writes checks that he can't cash sometimes. So leave the bickering and the going back and forth between the players. But that's going to be a really tough game for LSU right out the gate. They also have a brutal SEC stretch with Florida, Ole Miss, and South Carolina early. If they win those, they are playoff contenders. If they slip up, we're looking at another possible 4 to 3 loss season for these LSU Tigers. Now, Vegas has LSU win set total around 8.5 games. Their SEC title odds are plus 700, and their national championship odds are plus 1,500. So there is real belief around this squad that they can make a deep run in the playoffs and possibly win a national championship. Obviously, with anything, a lot of things have to go into place. But some of the main things is, whether or not, Brian Kelly's going to have this team prepared coming out in the first game of the season, which we have not seen in the last couple of years. LSU hasn't won a season opener in a really long time. We need Garrett Nussmeier to make better decisions, throw the ball to the right people. Last year he had a lot of nice plays and a lot of nice throws, but he also had some really, head-scratching turnovers that you just had to ask yourself, what was that about? And also, whether or not, Garrett Nussmeier is going to use his legs. Is that offensive line going to be able to protect him? And is he going to be able to stay injury-free? Now, yesterday there was some articles that I seen that came out that said Garrett Nussmeier was injured, but he was okay. So they had okay in all caps. So we still got to see how that plays out. But again, a lot of things have to go into play for LSU to, be successful to get to the playoffs and or get to the national championship. So if those things fall into place, I think this team will be just fine heading into the 2025 season. Now let's talk about this LSU offense. The Tigers return quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. He is a Heisman Trophy candidate. Last year he threw for 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns. This man is a legit Heisman candidate. Like I said, he has complete command over this offense. He got a lot of new weapons. I mean, you can spend all day talking about the weapons that Brian Kelly and that coaching staff has brought in out of the transfer portal and out of high school for Garrett Nussmeier. He got wide receiver transfer from Kentucky, Barion Brown. He has a reliable slot wide receiver in Aaron Anderson, a vertical threat in Chris Hilton Jr. That dude's fast. Chris Hilton Jr. is fast. If you watch that game versus Baylor and a few other games later in the season when Chris Hilton finally got healthy and he was able to put it together, the dude is a legit burner. They added a Oklahoma transfer tight end, and I'm probably going to jack this up, but Barn Sharp. And obviously, how can you forget about Trudez Green? And on that offense, those receivers, that's some serious threats, right? And one thing I want to also elaborate on just a little bit is that, Mason Taylor, the tight end that was drafted last season, this last draft, he probably was LSU's best tight end out of high school, and maybe one of the best tight ends to ever play at LSU. But him going to the NFL, right? And for LSU to be able to replace that productivity with a guy like Sharp from Oklahoma and Shadez Green, that's just wild, right? Like, we know LSU is already wide receiver U. We know LSU is DBU, but LSU could be shaping up to be, tight end U. And if Garrett Nussmeier wins the Heisman, hell, we can even be looked at as quarterback U. You got to think about Joe Burrow. You got to think about Jaden Daniels and now Garrett Nussmeier. But I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole, but I'm just saying Garrett Nussmeier, this offense is going to be super, super, super lethal if they can put it all together. But the offensive line lost 4 starters, so that is a major concern. Can they gel fast enough to protect Garrett Nussmeier and open up lanes for, Cade Durham, right? The all-world running back. I'm really excited to see Caden Durham in his second year, right? And also freshman Harlem Berry. They also got JT Lindsey. That LSU running back room is stacked. But hopefully the offensive line can gel. From what I'm seeing and from the reports that I'm reading, obviously it's going to be a little tilted. It's going to be a little biased. They're not just going to put out there that LSU offensive line is struggling. But from the reports that I'm seeing from some of the insiders that's at these LSU practices, LSU's in camp right now, they're saying that the offensive line is doing a pretty good job versus LSU's, defense and front 4. So, that is positive signs. But we have to see when it's live action, when it's not the LSU offense going against the LSU defense, right? We have to see when it's the LSU offensive line going against the Clemson defensive line. But if they can gel together and protect Garrett Nussmeier and open up some running lanes, which last year in a few games they struggled with, this team is going to be, it's going to be really dangerous. It's going to be really dangerous. Now, turning to the defensive side of the ball. On defense, it starts with linebacker Whit Weeks, the heart and soul of this unit. He's the only the only LSU defender named to the SEC preseason first team. His sideline-to-sideline speed is unmatched. LSU also gets a huge, massive boost with the return of Harold Perkins Jr. I've seen that he had no knee brace on, no leg brace, so that means he's good to go. He missed most of the 2024 season, but if he's healthy, this front 7 for LSU gets nasty real fast. The secondary was a weak spot in this team last year, but LSU attacked it hard in the portal. They bring in cornerback Mansour Delane from Virginia Tech, safety A.J. Harsey from Houston, and Tamarcus Cooley from North Carolina State. Expect a much tighter unit in coverage. Also putting those guys with the guys that's coming in, these freshmen, right? Some of the returning players from LSU's defensive secondary from last year. LSU should have a very solid defensive core and coverage, and also that front 7 should be real lethal also for this LSU team. I know Blake Baker is really excited about some of these pieces that he get to play with and put in different positions, like that star position, right? Which you're probably mainly going to see a lot of Harold Perkins in that star position, but LSU has a lot of other options that they can plug and play into that position also. And so I know Blake Baker is really excited. I think Brian Kelly is super excited also because, I think he finally knows that, hey, I have a legitimate defense with a lot of depth and a lot of, starting experience or game experience on that defensive side of the ball. So I think Brian Kelly and Blake Baker are super excited. I'm excited because I'm just tired of watching LSU defense being the sore spot of the team. And in years past, it was normally the offense, right? And then we came about where the offense and the defense was equally yoked. And then It slowly started going to where it was the offense carrying the defense and carrying the whole team. And I just really want LSU to get back to where the offense and the defense plays complementary football with one another. The offense goes out there and score. The defense gets turnovers, gets stops, and LSU's offense is able to go back on the field and score even more and get extra opportunities from the turnovers that's been provided to them by the defensive side of the ball at LSU. So what's the verdict? LSU has the talent. We know that. They have a Heisman-level quarterback. They got speed, they got athleticism, and they got a coach who's been knocking on the door for years. Brian Kelly has always won and made teams better everywhere he's went, but he's always been close to, finishing across the finish line and winning that national championship, right? He's one of the best coaches in college football. He just doesn't have, the hardware to show for it. But it all hinges on the trenches. If the O-line can come together and protect Garrett Nussmeier, if the defense avoids another collapse, LSU could absolutely win the SEC and maybe more. I'm predicting a 10-2 regular season, an FTC West title, and a shot at the college football playoffs. But I'm curious to know what y'all think LSU will do. So, Tiger Nation, the road to glory starts now. Well, in a few weeks. Drop your win predictions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly LSU updates all season long. Smash that like button if you bleed purple and gold, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Go Tigers.